Yeah. This is Offering Something, and I am your host, Michael Bernier, feeling so good to be alive. Offering Something brought to you by our super sweet support system at Enjoy Your Life brand. Everything at Enjoy Your Life brand. Also by Riverwalk Brewing Co. Check them at Riverwalk Brewing, and by the Higher Education, Music, and Arts Festival. If you're watching on YouTube, lean on that subscribe button for me, and I love you for that. Yeah, if you're the streaming television type, Offering Something available on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, all of that. So, we have a vibing episode ready for you today with a guest who is a musician, an artist, a world touring performer, a Billboard chart topper, a king of the keyboard, the foreman of the organ. You heard it right, y'all. And a hell of a humble human who is time after time offering something. It is my pleasure to introduce to y'all Paul Wolstencroft of Slightly Stoopid. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Michael? That's quite an intro. Thank you. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. This is fun, man. Check this out.
Yeah, man. It's so lovely to have you here. Thanks for coming out of your house.
It's my pleasure, man. I'm happy to be here. You know, This is like one of my first podcasts I've been on.
Woo!
Yeah, man. It's all new to me. I'm a newbie.
Woo! We're going to have a good time. I'll make it nice for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so nervous.
I doubt this very much. How the hell did all this happen? Good Lordy, where do we start?
Where do we start?
First, let's start with your birthplace. Where were you born, Paul? You got a nickname? I
got a few. I started out.
Which one do you like? Oh, let's hear the history of the nicknames.
I forget. There was a nickname when I was a kid. The nickname was Wolsty because my last name is Wolstencroft.
Yeah.
So I was born in England, and Wolsty is like what they. Wolsty.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where it began back for me. Other nicknames, P-Dubs, I go by sometimes. Polly Walnuts was my slightly stupid name. Which is weird because I never even saw that show. I never saw The Sopranos.
I didn't even know it was a show, and I like
watch it. Am I allowed to swear?
You can do
I'm
anything
gonna fucking
you
watch
want.
it, though. It's coming up soon because I got to see who Polly Walnuts is.
Yeah, man. So I'll go.
They're like, everyone's like, don't worry, he's cool.
Yeah. You never know, though. It's questionable.
Might be a pig fucker, man.
Yeah, we don't want to associate you with that. I'll go P-Dubs.
P-Dubs sounds good.
So you were born in England. Is that what you mentioned somewhere within that?
Yeah, I was. I was born in England, and I basically grew up. The stuff I remember that I was old enough to remember. I grew up in Cambridge. I went to this Cambridge is a great town, full of good beer, full of good people, lots to do, great university. And I went to school there. I was like one of those English schoolboys with like the uniform. We had like red blazers. I used to carry my trumpet and my briefcase.
This is real?
Yeah. And this was all up until I was like 9.
Until 9, okay.
And then my father's business moved to the States.
See you later, little trumpet boy.
Dude, what did I know? I was just thought, we're moving to America. Turned out to be really fun, awesome. I loved it right away.
America.
Yeah, this is back in the 80s.
Where did you move to in America?
Croton-on-Hudson, New York, which is just north of the city, maybe 45 minutes.
Okay.
And fun town, cool town, nice town, small town.
That's where you went to school?
That's where I went to high school.
High school.
Yeah.
You're in high school. You fit in well. Did you have an accent? Were you sticking out? Were you standoutish?
I totally had an accent I don't know how long that lasted. I mean, I'm like one of those type of guys. If I go down south, I'm like, y'all, got up, see you.
Just needed a day there.
I don't know what happens.
Up.
My brain isn't strong enough to stay with one accent. Wherever I am, I turn into that.
I like that. I feel I do something similar.
So it started back in jolly England, and then got here to New York, and that's where I was doing music back in England. I was taking, as a little kid, I was taking piano lessons and trumpet lessons.
As a lad, that's what you would say.
As a young chap.
Oh, chap, sorry.
I don't know.
Chappy. So what you were playing the trumpet then? What were you doing as a young lad?
I was terrible. I was a bad trumpet player.
I was a terrible trumpet player.
Trumpet's one of those hard instruments that if you don't play every day, you're really,
it's not
so
going to
hard
happen
to, it's
for
so
you.
physical right here.
Yeah.
Whew.
So you're a bad trumpet player in England. You come to New York. You're in high school.
Yeah.
What? All right. What are you listening to when you're in high school? Paul?
This is this is the late '80s. So I was listening to
late '80s.
Yeah.
You could be listening to anything.
Well,
yeah.
no, I was. There was some stuff I liked, man, back then. It was like U2 was cool, but I was always like, it was the battle of like the old music versus the new music. It was like people who listen to the Who and the Doobie Brothers and the Allman Brothers, and then there's other people that sort of listen to the '80s, whatever it was.
Duran Duran, like Poison, like this.
No. I never really got into that side of things, man. But I did like the Talking Heads. I liked UB40.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, amidst all of this, when did you first caress ebony and ivory side by side?
I started young on the piano. I started taking classical lessons at like age 6 or something.
Okay.
Or whatever it is the kids do. You know,
whatever the kids
farmers are going to blah, blah, whatever the songs are. I did all those. And I was sort of into it. And I wasn't too bad at it. But one day, one of my dad's friends came over to my house. And I had a piano in my room even back then. And he started playing some boogie woogie, and I was just like, "Gee, this is now we're talking. Can you please show me how to do this?"
Hold on, you can't leave.
That was a big changing point for me when I realized music doesn't have to be by the book. It doesn't have to be from a teacher. You can listen to it and do it. You know.
Yeah.
And I was young at that point. I was like 8 or 9. So that was a big game changer for me. And by the time I got to the States in the 80s, we were playing like
80s.
We made a band. We played at the high school thing.
So let's talk about that first band. The first band.
Yeah.
Who's in the band? What are the songs you're playing? Where are you practicing?
Oh
Where
my
are you
gosh.
performing? Who are those guys? Let's say their names.
Those guys: Brian Brown, Chip Cohen, Jack Leahy. We're playing up at Brian Brown's, sort of like, you know. Yeah. He had the barn attached to the house where all the music took place, and it was upstairs, and it was away from the parents, and his parents were divorced, and we would smoke weed up there and, like, you know, have people over and play whatever it is we played. I can't even remember what we played. Like, I remember I sang Stray Cat Strut back then.
That was your jam?
No, it was, and I liked the Billy Idol, I think. I think, oh, he's so cool. White Widow!
So from that operation, which clearly sounds like it was epic and mind-altering, how did you end up with Slightly Stoopid?
Oh my God, it's a long and involved process. Just give a straight, quick.
Well, no. So yeah, how did it come to be?
I got sucked into the big wave of what was going on in my life and around me was the jam band scene.
Okay.
That was my intro into live music. We were part of that whole Fish, Widespread Panic.
Gotcha. Mo.
Loved all of that stuff.
String Cheese Incident.
Yes, all of them. That was like, those are the people we knew and we loved and we played. And the good thing, and I was like studying jazz at that point. I was very serious about practicing. And everyone was so good in that jam band scene. You had to, I want to be the greatest.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a fun thing because that scene introduced me in many ways to a lot of different music because they sort of combine a lot of different type of. They don't really have. There's no real roots to it per se. All of the jam band scene, but it's related to bluegrass. It was related to blues, and like from there, that's why I went backwards. I started with like the Grateful Dead and went backwards to.
I gotcha.
To studying blues and whatever and funk.
Is this what you were like playing along to? The vibe you were catching on the keys?
Yeah, I mean, blues was my thing. On the piano, blues is good because you could do it by yourself. You know, you can play the bass and thing. It's a good thing to do.
So playing the blues leads you to somehow playing with Slightly Stoopid.
It does, because somewhere along that path,
yeah,
I moved to Boston at one point.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Moved
what
to
a
Boston,
place.
and I fell into this music scene that was in love with reggae.
Okay.
You know, it was like Tommy Benedetti and Craig Welsh and J Mart, who played like Horn for the Burning Spear.
Oh, yeah.
It's all in like one little place. And that's where that sort of started for me. The sort of beginning, listening to Scratchley Perry, listening to King Tubby, finding singers, Dennis Brown, whoever it was. That was when that was a big learning. There was a lot of music to learn.
Right.
It took years.
Of course.
And it's still
happening.
Of course. It's crazy how much music there is to influence you in that genre. And they were so good at it.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. And someone gave me a record. I think it was Craig Welsh. And it was like, check out Jackie Matu. I think this is up your alley because it's sort of like the organ funk you're into, but it's to the reggae beats you like. He plays a lot of the classic plates and he solos over them. That was it for me. I loved him. I was like, oh my God, an organ player, awesomeness in the reggae scene. I loved it.
So now you're rolling with these cats, and
eventually the world is like, it's funny how things work, you know. Over the course of years and years, so many connections build up that like people on the West Coast are only like one person removed from you.
Yeah.
So
physical distance doesn't actually determine connection, right?
Stoopid was stepping up their game. This was 2009. I think I got a phone call from them in 2008.
Yep.
Saying we're doing this big tour next year. It's going to be with Snoop Dogg. And I was like, you know, and for me at that point I was playing to like whatever. I was playing to for anywhere from 0 to 50 people. And all these like all sorts of gigs, church gigs, weekly gigs. I was playing like 8-9 times a week.
Yeah.
And so Miles and Kyle rolled into town to a friend of mine's studio and said, come over, and we just want to meet you and hang out and chill, and we're going to record something. So I was like, cool, man. I went over there, and we played some blues, and we had some fun, and we smoked some herbs, and that was it. And then they left, and I didn't hear from it for months.
You're like, all right, so that happened. I'm not sure where that's going.
I think it was like 2 weeks before it was probably more now. It's probably like 3 weeks before the tour. I got a call from Miles, and he was like, hey, you want to do this summer tour? We're beefing up the band. We got a horn section. We're at keyboards. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. And of course, I was like,
yeah, let me not think about that and just answer right now.
The weird thing is I didn't really know that well Slightly Stoopid. Like when I got introduced to them a year before, I checked them out and looked them up and saw that they were a thing, you know. And I had some friends in the band who had graduated from the East Coast to the West Coast and joined up with them.
You consider that a graduation from the East Coast to the West Coast?
For them, it was because they started here and then went there after. I don't know. Maybe it was a regression. Could be. It's definitely a progression in weather.
Yeah,
and burritos,
I would agree with
Mexican
that.
food.
For the good, yeah.
Skateboarding and surfing. Where was I?
So you got the call from Miles saying you want to be down for this tour. It's going on for 3 weeks.
We're going to do 10
band.
rehearsals or something. Fly out to California. I'll buy the burritos. You can stay at my house, and we'll just have a rehearsal every day, and then we'll leave straight to tour after that. And like he sent me the tour dates. It was like 50 dates or something. It was like this crazy cross the country, like Red Rocks and stuff like. I was like, what the heck? So that was a whole new learning experience for me. Was like going from playing in a small little room to no one to the big thing. The difference in playing it's strange. It's subtle. It's like I noticed it right at soundcheck on the first day. Like I hit my keyboards like. I was like, oh my God.
I don't know what it is, but I just won something, boy.
The sound was so huge, and I wasn't used to it. It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
But you like just like anything else, man. Day after day, you get used to that, and I'm kind of used to that vibe now.
So you would say when that call came in, you were super stoked.
Oh my! Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I was like at the end of. I was playing with this guy from New York called Melvin Sparks. He's sort of like a jazz guitar player. And I was playing with him, and it was coming to the end of that thing, and I was getting sick of it, and I was like, I just wish something would come my way.
And then there it is.
Yeah.
So how many years now have you been rolling with Slightly Stoopid?
This is, at least 11.
2009, 21. We might be at 12.
Might be at 12.
P-Dub, Pauly Walnuts.
Starting in June, it'll be 12, I think.
Wow. And how many shows would you guess went down over this? Whatever,
hundreds,
11.
Man. I mean, they don't. Stupid doesn't play, as much as some bands. Some bands just crazy touring, but they do tour, and the summer is a big time for a lot of dates and get out to a lot of places, a lot of different markets. So I mean, a lot of summers, and also playing in Brazil, Australia, Japan, all these England, France, whatever it is. So there's been quite a lot of gigs.
You guys have played with Dave Matthews, Snoop Dogg, Damian Marley, The Roots. I mean, you definitely played with Cypress Hill at Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a dream come true, man.
Who
really.
is, like, of all the people you're like, oh, we're playing with them? Who is the most for you? You're like, yeah.
It was really, I think it was really the first year I came in. It was Snoop Dogg, but not only was it Snoop Dogg, it was Snoop Dogg.
Where was the Snoop Dogg? Was that more than one show? Where did this happen?
It was an entire summer of 2009. It's called like the Blazed and Confused tour.
What?
And it was Slightly Stoopid, Snoop Dogg, and Stephen Marley.
That's what happened?
And we would go on last in a lot of them, like the California markets and everything. So it's really bizarre, for me, because I was just like, oh my God. They were super hot too. Like they were just the crowd had just. I joined just at the right fucking time, right as the crowd was like getting huge.
But they heard you join the band.
So Stephen Marley had this band, and that was really right up my alley. You know, that was a lot of the stuff that I really loved, and just the fact that he was a Marley and he was so good, and the keyboard players were awesome. Everyone was good. Squidly on the drums. Everybody was awesome.
Were there times where they'd come up on stage with you guys? Snoop come out?
There were. Snoop came out. Snoop came out a couple times. That was epic. When he came out, we learned a song specifically for him, and he came out and sang it. And it was a lot of fun. Steven came out with Damien at a couple things. Like they would all travel. Damien would come in and out. There was other brothers coming. Like Ziggy came one time, and Steven came up a few times and like sat in on one of Kyle's songs.
Yeah. Well, how about off stage, like where you guys hanging in the tour buses together? Was it total co-mingling of the Stupid camp, the Marley camp, the Snoop camp? Was it a good vibe, all family scene, or was it like some separation there? People had their own hotels and whatever, and never really saw each other after the show.
First off, it was awesome.
Okay.
There was a lot of commingling, a lot of people getting together after the shows, drinking beer, hanging out with Snoop's keyboard player, who was like playing the bass also, and his drummer and guitar Bubby, I think his name was.
Legit, respectable players.
Oh, they were so good, dude.
Yeah.
That band was, that was like the best version of Snoop Dogg, that band.
Wow.
They were rock stars, and it sounded so good. And they played to like a DJ also. It had everything. It was so thick and full, and he was great. Given that, Snoop himself.
Like, were you sitting down with Snoop?
I'm not really sitting down with... See, that's the thing. You're not really... For me, I wasn't really sitting down with Snoop. My first year in the band, I was, like, timid and everything and whatever. I did meet him, but he rolled with, like, 8 security guards.
You can't get near Snoop.
No one was allowed anywhere near him unless he said so, So it was like he had a big security thing, and, like... But he was a lot of fun, man, and he was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. That was some of the most fun I ever had in my life up to that point.
You played sold-out shows around the world and festivals in places like some you've mentioned: Japan, Australia, Guam, Portugal, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica. Aside from the actual performance, right? What is your top number one favorite country outside of the United States to perform in? Like, which place do you love? Not the show.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the show. What do you love?
It's funny because they both coincide. The place and the shows kind of coincide a little bit.
Kind of makes sense.
For me, Brazil is the absolute shit.
That's the jam? What is it about Brazil?
It's just
P-dubs, Paul.
Everybody's cool, man.
Everybody in Brazil.
So much cooler than the nerds I hang out with. not stupid. No, Brazil's cool. The food's great. Everybody's fun. I mean, the shows are awesome. We're playing like Planeta Festival Brazil. We're playing before like Guns N' Roses.
Really?
Not right before Guns N' Roses,
Did you
but
have
we
to
were
talk
on
to
the same
Axl
day.
Rose?
No. Nowhere near. Nowhere from 200 feet away was the closest we got to Axl Rose. He was good though, man.
Was he?
Anyway, Brazil is just, and they're into music, man. They're into live music and they love it. I mean, a lot of places were cool.
So while we're on this topic of tour life here, like, it's got to be absolute insanity at times. It continues on and on. It's everything and too much of everything. There's options to become an egomaniac. You can become a monster. You're like, I'm so cool. How do you refrain from too much of that or too much partying?
Sometimes I don't.
Okay. But so that was also a part of my question. Do you keep it together? Are you not nice to people because you're like, dude, I'm so tired of talking to people? And,
every once in a while. I try not to be like that. But I mean, of course,
have you snapped at people?
I'm human. Oh,
have you
God, I snap at everybody sometimes.
You're like, dude, get away from me. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You feel bad after?
Always. It's terrible. It's a lot of guilt
like
involved.
People touching you? A lot of people touching you?
It's not me they're after. They're more after like Miles and Kyle and all that stuff, you know? For me, just to... What was the question? How do you stay cool on the road?
More of the question is, how do you, in life, maintain a level head, not being like, I'm so cool because I'm in Slightly Stoopid? And also, how do you not, when you're on the road, just rage every day and have the best party? Because, well, it's a perfect element. It's not because I'm an addict. It's because I'm totally down to have a good time while we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I joined the band. If I'd have joined the band like 8 or 9 years earlier, I could have easily gotten caught up in that egomaniac, going after girls, all the booze, doing the dance. But I had kind of been through all of that in my jam band days. By the time I got to there, I was just like...
Had all the ladies already.
I hadn't been through everything, but I was definitely matured to the point where I knew what my role is, what I needed to do, how I could play the long game on this.
Yep.
Because at the original 2009 tour, I was hired only for that summer.
Right, so you were in like
I was going to be playing for one summer.
What's going to happen?
No, I didn't even consider coming into the band. I always knew it was going to be a one summer thing. And then at the end of the summer, they were doing this Europe tour. And Kyle was like, hey,
how are you going to do this without me?
Should we bring Paul to Europe too? And they're like, yeah, let's bring him. What the hell? And I was like, oh, cool, man. So I did a Europe tour after that. It was insane.
Wow.
And after that, then I think I just kept getting called to rehearse and come out to gigs.
All of a sudden,
before I knew it, like 3 or 4 years in, I was like, oh.
I think I'm in this band. I'm on the albums. I've played every single show, even the intimate ones. There might be something going on here.
You got to remember my mindset at that time is these guys have been together for a long time. Since they were 15 or 14 or whatever. Yeah. Like these even though I've been in the band for 11 years, before I even joined, these guys have been together for 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to crunch the numbers.
96, 94, I don't know.
So when you join that band for at least a year or so, you are a bit of an outsider.
Of course.
You know, you don't know anyone.
Going on.
Everybody knows everybody.
I just want to play exactly what you want to hear.
Is this good?
Is this what you want?
That? No more of that? Okay.
More of what you want? Less? I'm cool. I'll stand.
There's an element of that of like getting to feel out what the role is that you play in that project, just like any team. You know, you got to figure out where you fit in and what you do, and that was a few years figuring that out.
How much of the year is spent touring typically when things are normal?
about a third, maybe.
Mabley. I like that.
It's more. No, I mean, when I joined, everybody was having families. Everyone was having kids, and everyone had a wife, and everyone was buying houses. So there had to be time to be at home for the kids and the family, and so there was a big balance. Just, I think before I joined, they were on the road like constantly, like years and years. Like, let's go, 35 shows in a row. But when the families were involved and you have more of a commitment to people in your life, you still want to continue the tour. You want to balance it somewhat, and that's what they were trying to do when I joined. It was a good time because I was going through the same thing they were.
I gotcha.
I was getting married.
Like, let's do this in a more sensible way. We'll have a plan. We'll tour for this part of the year.
It's hard to balance, when you're trying to be a musician and make it.
Oh, we don't want to say no. We just got asked to play whatever. And you're like, oh, here we go again. And then there's a tour around that anchor date. Here it is.
Yeah. I mean, they were very sensible, man. They knew what they were doing. Stoopid as a whole is a good
operation, thought out.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know if it's well thought out.
It's well thought out by somebody.
It just happens well.
I think that they're just very good at what they do. I think they're naturals. Now I'm talking about Miles and Kyle.
So Miles and Kyle, they're naturals. You're saying, are they the nicest guys? Are they perfect gentlemen?
No, they're not perfect gentlemen, but they are really, really generous, nice, giving, interested in people, interested in music. I had so many of the same interests as them. There's so many of the bands that we both loved, and so many things that we all loved. Like, we all loved playing like FIFA soccer. There were so many like connections.
So do you have like a true bond with them? Like, you feel like these are my brothers when you're together? Is it an actual that kind of bond that exists now?
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're together, like during the summer, it is. You're a family on the road in the summer, and you got to stick together because it's a long haul, and a lot goes on in a lot of different places, and a lot of whatever arguments or tension or you know how band life is, man. Things come up, and like it's not always like. Sometimes you're wrestling, sometimes you're doing shots
7, 8,
together.
9, 10, 11 person relationship going on. It's like, this is getting whacked out, man. I gotta go for a walk, get a burrito. Something's got to change.
But I do think that they are both, and I don't even know if they know their naturals at touring life and band life. There's just something about them that catches people's attention. The whole two-singer vibe, the whole fact that they were involved with Sublime.
I like that.
It was a very
the Skunk Records,
yeah,
like
it was very...
a direct tie to Bradley Knoll of Sublime, which everyone's trying to get. But these guys, Slightly Stoopid, were signed in, I think it was 94, to Skunk Records. They're still in high school, and then they're on this label. Their first album has a track called Prophet that Bradley is actually on. And then that song Bradley actually covers with Sublime, and it goes on the Everything Under the Sun album or something like this. But like, not that many people could be like, yeah, Bradley covered my music and it's on his album. That's pretty dope.
I wish I was around for those days in some ways.
Wild, right? That's real.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had a really cool history. And, of course, from the East Coast, I was kind of like a nerd music person. And these were two, like, surfers from the West Coast who were super cool. Like...
Speaking of West Coast super cool, you guys get arrested on the road? Does that ever happen? You ever end up behind the bars?
I personally have not.
You
haven't? This band, no.
There was a little hesitation there?
Well, I tried. We've been stopped and searched, and like, there's always a problem with Canada.
Yeah.
I think like
the authorities come into the tour bus.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They got right on board and whatever.
All of a sudden, everything looks illegal.
I think a year or two before I joined, they were crossing the Canadian border, and they came on and found like weed and mushrooms or whatever it was. I forget what it was. I wasn't around for it. This is before my time. However, since that point, every checkpoint became a major event. Like a long wait and sitting inside, go through all your stuff, checking, turning your bed out, and the dog sniffing.
There we go. Get the dogs.
Yeah, no, I've been relatively lucky with the whole thing. And part of the reason for that is the change in the weed laws. You know, what happened back in my earlier days is like I get caught with weed and you get like arrested for it, you know.
So you're a man with no record.
No substantial record. I think I did some speeding and driving without a license, but I think it's so long ago.
That's not a place where you want to add a pause. I did some speed.
No, I don't. No, that's not my thing, man. Speed is definitely not me. That would be bad.
Yeah. So you have a family?
I do.
Yeah. You like them?
They're okay.
They're okay. How many of them make up your family?
Well, my immediate family is me, my wife, and my daughter.
Do you all live in the same shelter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all live we all live in the same home. Little happy, like happy little life at home. It's nice. My wife's a school teacher, and my daughter's awesome. She just turned 5 a couple days ago.
And you're the hippie in the basement making music. Like, hey, it's working.
I don't know if hippie is the word they use.
So you're somewhere just outside of Boston, Mass?
Just outside of Boston, and, you know, I never made the move to the West Coast. I think when I joined Stoopid, I was already settled. I just bought the house and just got married. And was, you know, just
more
about
like
to
your
have a
homeland
kid.
there. It's a little,
it was,
Boston's a little more like...
it was all cool. Somehow it works in Stoopid where not everybody has to be in California because there's so much meat in the middle. I mean, I have to go to California a lot to practice.
Yeah.
And a lot of the gigs are out there. But there's a lot of flying involved. And some of the crew are from the East Coast, too. Some people from Florida.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So as far as the Stoopid records, where do they get recorded? Is it the same studio all the time since you've been involved? How's that process going down? You guys all go camp out at the studio? Everyone lives in the
I think
house?
when I first joined, they didn't have the studio they have now.
Okay.
And it was like they were going to their favorite studios in the area, using some of their favorite people.
And they're out in, like, I don't know, Pacific Beach, something like this?
Yeah.
Ocean Beach,
recording
Mission
up
Beach.
in Encinitas or somewhere in San Diego. There's a lot of good studios and a lot of good people out there. But as time went on, they ended up getting this rehearsal/recording space, like a big warehouse type thing. And they built it out. Yeah, they built it out. And it's great. It's awesome. It's like the clubhouse.
So let's talk about so Miles and Kyle, these are the names.
Yeah, those are.
When do they write the songs, the majority of the songs? So they write them.
They totally do. They're the songwriters. They're the main thing.
So when you come into the recording process, is it typically already like their rough vocals are there, their rough guitars, the drums are there, whatever? It's like all laid out and they're like, do your parts? Or are you there, like, is the whole team in the room and you're like, oh, let's throw some keys right here, and you jump up and go try it? How's the vibe?
The vibe is nice.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is they try and do what they can on their own.
Yep.
And then they'll bring in Rimo, who's the drummer, and he'll lay down a beat. Mm-hmm. And sort of just build from there.
Rimo is the 15th drummer, I think. 14th.
Is it that many?
I believe it's 14th
oh my
drummer.
God, I didn't know it was that many.
He's been there a little while now. No, you guys like him.
Been there for almost 20 years.
Yeah. So, carry on.
When I go in, it was a lot of it was just me and Miles and the engineer, or me and Kyle and the engineer, or me and both of them and the engineer. Sometimes there were other people around, but it was definitely easier to write with Miles and Kyle because they like to direct you a little bit.
So on the album, it says executive producers Miles and Kyle.
I don't know you know what? I don't even know what it says on there, but they are the producers pretty much. Them and, Jay Wiz, who does the sound, he has some production work in there too. He's part of that team.
Overall, the recording process with them in the room, you playing the parts, it's all good.
Oh my God.
You like it.
Oh, it's the best.
You love it. You love it.
There's nothing quite like being in the studio and recording and going into that space. And they've really created like a magical place, like this wonderland of recording, and it's just awesome there. So it's really a treat to go in there and spend like 4 or 5 hours after rehearsal or whatever, just playing keys to some of their ideas or their more finished tracks. The songs are at different levels when you come in. Sometimes you're at the beginning. Sometimes you're the last.
You're like,
thing
we have no
on.
idea. It's like do whatever you would do, and let's see.
Great,
or it's
dude.
like, do this. Yeah, try this.
I thought maybe, it would stink having somebody else be in charge of all the music we're doing, but if they're good at being in charge of the music, then it's really good. It could be really fun,
Let's talk about the future a little bit here with on the Slightly Stoopid topic. Is the schedule starting to fill up? Is there like we're going to start at this point? It looks like the world is going to be back to normal. Or y'all is like, hold.
Well, there is a schedule in place. There is a summer tour in place, but
starting on what date, my friend?
I don't know exactly. I would imagine it starts in like the beginning of June.
Okay.
If it does, but times are weird. Who knows? Who knows really what's going to happen? We're not
They're going to
sure.
unweird. They're going to unweird.
They are going to unweird, but how long is it going to take before these? We'll soon know, man. We'll soon know who's going to be able to tour, who's going to be able to play, how many people are going to be able to come in. Yeah. It's kind of up in the air. It's going to get going at some point.
Mad Max out there. You don't really know.
When this
target. Yeah.
When it first started, like back in March, we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna miss June, but we'll be back in July and August, and everything will be normal from then. So you don't really know, man.
You've been sitting home now. How are you feeling? Let's talk.
Let's talk.
How are you feeling mentally? Are you like, I need to get some of that? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sleeping all right?
For the most part, I'm pretty good. I've had a really good, like we were talking about earlier, I had a really good run of like figuring out something else to do with music while I'm not playing with them, figuring out how to do all these solo gigs, how to be the person singing and talking, and so I had a whole thing going on with that. I was making videos at home, but
take away the planes, the tour buses, the stage shows, the lights, the screens, the thousands of people. Like now,
I think for the first few months, it was definitely it was itchy. I want to. But as time goes on, you just figure there was a lot to do with survival at that point because there was no money coming in.
Did you have the thought of? What would happen if the keyboard was no longer, or the organ was no longer a thing? That was gone. What the hell would I do? What if you couldn't do that anymore? What's your next way to produce income to provide for your beautiful family and that lovely shelter you have?
For me, I mean, I've only got one direction, and that is studio.
Yeah.
I know I'm headed there eventually. It's just a matter of time to see how long I'm going to be on the road for. Before I go into the studio and make that my home and find a place to record or produce or whatever it is, make music for whatever it is.
Before we transition
commercial.
into all these epic things that you have going on, tell me, why is the band called Slightly Stoopid? Like, what's the foundation of this name?
I wasn't around for that part, but
what do you have to know better than I do, player?
Well, I think that the story is very simple, that they were hanging out, they were getting stoned, and they were trying to come up with a name for the band, and one of them was like, what about Slightly Stoopid? And I think it just kind of stuck.
That was it.
That was a very simple,
reality,
fun thing that happens back when they were kids. And, when I first joined the band, I loved the name. There was something about it. I just the two S's, and the two O's.
We're not too serious. We're not like coming out like name, we are awesome. Yeah. So would you say that this path that you've now been a part of, and these epic heights that you've sailed to, you've soared to, that you are musically fulfilled in fulfilled in most ways? Are you feeling like, you know what? I don't actually need to play to 60,000 people here. I don't need to go play Red. I've already done these things. Are you looking at music and success in the same way, or is there a new goal in sight as far as performance?
I think success is definitely, the idea of what that is changes over time.
I'm strictly specific to performance.
To performance?
Yes.
Yeah. So back when I started, let's say go back to when I was in the jam band scene. The whole thing in my mind is we got to play Madison Square Garden to a bunch of people 3 nights in a row. They're all like to the music. But the idea of success changes over time, especially when you know this, when you get the family. Yeah, the success becomes balance of your work and like building this family thing that
making sure you're a good dad.
Making sure you're a good dad, a good husband. You're doing your part. You're helping. You're providing.
You're not
all
just
that
on the
stuff.
road sending home money and like living some wild life and then coming home for 3 days being like, "That's so cool."
I mean, that really is the
See you
perception,
later.
and I think that's probably the way it was for years.
Right. Yeah. It gets a little heavy. Like, oh, sure, you come home, you're awesome, you do everything, but then you're gone, and here I am.
This is the difficult part about being in the band is you're gone from, and then once you develop that family, when you're gone from home for weeks and weeks at a time, that's the tricky balance that you gotta like work out with your spouse and kid.
It's also like as a human, as time goes by and you're not actually with the other human, like physically with the other person, there is naturally a distance that is created. Like you start to know them less. You don't know the daily routines as well. So you come home, you don't know what your kid is saying. You don't know, oh, that's what you do now, honey? What's that shirt you have on? And then all of a sudden you're like coming back to a foreign land, right? That's home.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of that, then you're home for weeks at a time.
Yes.
And you have all these family dinners together, and you all hang out together every night, and you all like whatever. So it's like is
there ever a normal time? So now there's been a normal time. So it's either like celebration, daddy's around, hubby's home, let's do this. And then he's gone.
It's hard to say what normal is. For me, it's normal.
Yeah.
For me, it's normal.
You feel
to be
like it's
there.
a good balance you have here with the family life.
I'm trying to. It's a struggle in many ways, and because you gotta. I mean, everybody's got to make some money.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here. I was really asking you when this started. Have you lived out your rock and roll fantasies?
Oh, some of them for sure.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. I mean, playing Red Rocks with Cypress Hill and Snoop Dogg.
Looking at you yesterday, I peeped the video.
I couldn't even imagine that.
You guys come on after Cypress Hill. I peeped the video. I'm checking like Cypress Hill doing their thing, playing all the classic hits. And then you guys come on, and then you're just out there playing your keys. I'm like, look at this dude. What is he? He's just playing his keys. Like he's just like a guy in his basement. He's also a guy on the stage completely crushing it on the keys in front of thousands of people. It's just like that's so wonderful dynamic.
It'll never be over for me, though. I'm such an addict to playing the keys and trying to set new goals and do new things that even as soon as I get home off the road of 60 dates, I'm like, I got to do some of my own gigs and I keep going.
Are you happy? You felt
I'm a
happy?
happy person in general. I mean, I'm not always. Sometimes I'm angry and frustrated, just like any other artist.
You've been really nice with me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And you've been nice with me also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Do you like gifts? Gifts?
Do you like tags?
I'm not sure what that means, but
Never
gifts.
mind. It's from the movie Snatch. But I like gifts.
I don't really get down on the TVC that much. I'm sorry, but do you like gifts?
Gifts, yeah, of course. Who doesn't like gifts?
You put that little heart book there on this sweet little pad.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you a gift. All right.
All right.
Don't expect too much here. I'm not trying to do that.
All right. I'll keep my expectations low. Maybe a pen, a piece of gum. Oh my goodness, this is a large. Is this beer? Oh,
maybe, but no. All right, you open that up. And yeah, let's go one at a time.
Oh my God.
Here it is, the goody box. Yeah, player got his enjoy your life hat.
Dude,
Look, it's so good. There you go. Look at that. Just keep going. I want to see what's in there past the sauce. I was going to go. That's why I put it in there. Do you know Charlie Carrazzo? That's what it is. That's right. You see Charlie? Yeah.
Yes. So Son Jones, that's related to my beginnings because I went to Tufts when I moved here, and Charlie was there.
The handle.
Yeah. See, you knew all that stuff already. The free vault. What you say?
Yes.
Shirts.
Love it up.
Jeans.
So let's talk about the jeans. So first, what happens here, Paul?
Yeah.
Is everybody that comes on to this show offering something gets some of my old clothing.
Oh my God.
That's just something that I've implemented.
Crazy.
I enjoy it. So they're clean. They've been washed. All the things that are necessary in order to transfer them, but they don't fit me anymore. And I was like, maybe they'll fit him.
Thank you so much.
And maybe they'll live on.
Your box exceeded my expectations.
That's a great box right there.
Very nice.
Once you dig deep into that box, you're gonna say,
I'm gonna dig deep, man.
Ooh, I bet you know some names on the back of that album right there.
Detroit. If only I could see without my glasses.
Oh, you don't have to see then. Let's not take the time for you that's necessary for you to see.
Let me get my specs.
All right, let's step away from all the stupid stuff because I know you got a lot more happening in your scene. That's the truth. So, first thing, which is wonderful, is the virtual Sunday brunch performance you got going on.
Right.
Let's delve into this here. What's going on with that?
That was my wife's idea. I was complaining.
What a wife. What a wife.
I
What's her name? Does she get a name?
Sarah.
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 I love you, Sarah.
Me too.
Sarah.
I love you too. Yeah, Sarah smiles.
Now we're singing to you. Look at all the love for you. Yeah.
It was her idea because I was complaining that I didn't have any gigs, and I knew I wasn't going to have any gigs.
You're just walking around the house going,
totally. Then you saw like grumpy Paul, and like I'd go into the basement and practice at night for nothing.
Go do something. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, you occupy your time and you come up with something. And she was like, "Why don't you do a weekly gig downstairs in the basement? Just do it. Just do it. Just try it.
It'll get better. Do it. See if it works."
So that was that. And not only is it my only gig. It's my favorite gig
at this time,
and I can do whatever. I mean, it's one of those gigs where I just feel like I'm in my house. I'm going to drink beer and champagne.
Yeah, but do you make yourself presentable? I've watched. Do you wear your pajamas?
I might. I haven't yet. You never know.
You don't consider the outfit. The outfits.
I do
consider
the outfit, but not to the extent that some people do. Like I'm not Prince or anything like that.
Because, that was what I was confused about. Is this Prince or
Prince.
Is this Pauly Walnuts? They both start with a P. Maybe it's the same.
Yeah.
What's happening? Dubtown Rockers came through heavy from out of nowhere. Now, Dubtown Rockers. Is that your creation?
Yeah, me and I had a partner.
Who's your partner in this jam?
De La, who was the sax player for Slightly Stoopid.
De La.
I had come up with the idea of, we've been racking our brains. We were like, let's do a Christmas CD. Let's do this CD.
What can we do?
Yeah, just trying to come up with something that was outside our normal element.
Yeah.
And
here's more what we do instead of that.
Yeah.
New angles.
Anyway, it just seemed to make sense. We both had kids. I was listening to a lot of kids' music, and I was digging
We didn't even say that yet, so you landed on the genre of kids music? Is that what you call it? Children's music?
I did.
Children's music?
I did. I was going through a thing with my daughter where we were trying to find common ground with music.
It wasn't happening.
It was happening.
It was happening.
It wasn't always.
How old is she?
She's 5.
5. She's like, let's listen to Blippy.
Oh, God. Right. And he's good, too. I mean, it's all good. I shouldn't say anything now that I'm in the genre.
Yeah.
Blippy's like, that guy said something about me. No, but I said to someone else in an interview one time, there was 2 types of music. There was music that like I couldn't stand that she loved. London Bridge is falling down. Beep, 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 ding dong, ding dong, like.
Wow.
I hated that.
Wow, that's good.
Then there was like
very good.
Then there was like Dan Zane's and all of the Disney soundtracks and like I loved them. I could appreciate the music and I just thought it was great. And then I was like, me and Daylight were like, let's just keep it in our genre, amongst our thing. Everyone in our scene's having babies. It'll be a good start for us into the children's world. And,
concept develops, and then all of a sudden, production is happening. You're recording, and in the process of recording, you welcome in several other musicians. Who are some of the featured vocalists on the Dubtown Rockers?
Well, of course, we got Miles from Slightly Stoopid.
Yep.
Don Carlos, who's a bit of a legend in many ways. I don't know if you know who Kaz Haley is. He's a new up-and-coming guy. Very nice voice.
I'll check his nice voice.
It's pretty nice.
I'm ready to feel nice.
Jackson Weatherby from the Elevators.
Yeah, Jackson's been right here in this space where you are, yeah.
Another nice voice. Hyrie.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, she was great too. Everybody who came
in from the movement on there, Josh Swain.
Josh Swain and Charlie Tuna.
Oh, Charlie! I was just chilling with. Seems like yesterday, chilling with Charlie in the Virgin Islands for the Jam Fest.
I mean, we were lucky. We were playing with the people we were playing with anyway.
Yeah.
And we were making music. Like I had a good relationship already with Josh from the Movement. He'd already written lyrics for me, and he's a really good writer and comes up with stuff really fast. So same with Jackson.
Nice kid.
I'd written some stuff with Jackson, and he came up with stuff like sounded beautiful right off the first take. So I was like, I'm gonna work with them all the time. He has a sweet
voice, and he's a nice boy.
Very nice. And Charlie Tuna too, man. He crushed his role.
Hell yeah. So you've been getting loose with G Love and the Juice.
G Love.
So you're rolling with G Love, Garrett. What's up with that? What's that project all about?
I think it started out. I think it was like Garrett and De La's idea that De La wanted to do this.
Sitting on a couch.
I think it was De La's idea, actually.
Okay.
He was like, I want to do this concert across the street from my house at this drive-in movie place.
Yep.
How about, and he called me up and he was like, how about we do G Love, an organically good trio, and we'll combine them, and then we'll do something else. And it was a great idea, and it worked. And from that point on, honestly, Garrett was coming up with tons of gigs. His band was separated. I think they were in Philly or so. In COVID times, we were all near each other too.
Right.
It was an easy commute.
So let's say the names of for the people that don't know what the Organically Good Trio is. Who are the other players there in the G Love and the Juice? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, G Love and the Juice. So it started out as two bands, two G Love and the Juices, an A and a B version. The A or B, whichever one.
Was one better than the other? Is that why it's A? Because A is typically better than B.
I highly doubt it.
You don't think
B
it was looked
probably
at that
way
way?
better than A. Well, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. There was Organically Good Trio, which is me and Tommy Benedetti, the drummer from John Brown's Body.
Legend.
And Van
in the
Gordon
Boston
Martin,
scene,
who's a bit of a ripper on the guitar.
Yeah, he's a great player.
And
also been right there in your seat. Yeah.
And Brian Thomas, who's in the BTALC and does a lot of stuff with Alan Evans. He's a horn player on everything. And then the other band consisted of Tom Array. I don't know if you know him. He plays for Jay Giles and
Giles.
The Bellamy's. There's a husband and wife team. The keyboard player and bass player, the Bellamy's. They're ridiculous.
They're on something.
So good. But what G Love and the Juice eventually became was both bands combined. It became this 9 or 10 piece band where we all played together, and that's how it's been going recently.
And what's the word there? That's like a COVID thing that will maybe take flight again. Maybe just that was it.
There's something to it. There's something to that band.
There.
There's something to that band. Like for me, it reminds me of like when I go see. I mean, this is a high lofty thing, but when I go see
this loft,
when I go see the Derek Trucks band, I hear a certain sound of full 2 drummers, bass player, keyboard,
and that's
like
what you're getting out of this?
players, backup singers, and I get out of that like this big ensemble like type band where there's 2 keyboard players, guitar player, 2 drummers. You know, it's a big sound when you do that with the horns. And Garrett's very good at being the front guy. You know, he's no slouch, man.
What's your thought about Garrett G Love? Is he a great player? Is he a great player? Would you say? Wow,
I would say in many ways he's another natural.
Okay.
Like not in like the studying jazz and do chops like Van or anything, but he's a natural.
He writes great songs. He pulls it together.
He could get up in front of a mic and make up a bajillion lyrics on the spot to any beat you give him, and like this. He's just one of those people.
And
like you give him a beat and a guitar.
G Love Garrett as a human being? Do you think
guy?
He's nice guy? You'll give him the nice guy.
Super nice, absolutely.
Super.
I mean, honestly, his whole family has been beautiful to us. You know, we've been down to their house, we hung out. Yeah. It's been a nice little ride in the time that I can't do the stupid stuff. You know.
Yeah, something to get going, and plus with a. Right? You know, G Love got his thing, man. Philadelphia King, whatever, Philly G Love, all the things.
I mean, did you ever listen to any G Love? I knew him. He was from Boston.
Baby got sauce. I know.
I saw him early on in my very beginning of my career. I went to the Plow and Stars, which is a tiny little.
Yeah, I've heard these words.
25 people holds.
Where's that?
Went in
Beverly?
there.
Where's that?
I was there to see some of my other friends play, called Jasper and the fully celebrated orchestra or something. Ended up being G Love was the band, and I watched it and I was like, holy mackerel, man!
You enjoyed it?
Oh my yeah.
Really?
They were good.
Status.
Were good. We were like, I was thinking, Jesus, this guy's like Elvis, man. What the hell's back then the charisma was outrageous.
The charisma.
Totally though, like in a small little place, and it was those songs that I like. It was like Baby Got Sauce.
That was back then. Now, how about right now, in this current whatever, in the last few years, what bands in the Boston scene, the outer Boston scene, that are not nationally recognized, are you like, yeah, band's hot right there, they're gonna make it? In your head, you're like, these kids got it going on. I like this.
Pretty much everything that comes out of Vintage League Studios, which is Alan Evans from Soul Live.
Vintage League Studios.
They're good. The BTALC, which is the Brian Thomas, Alex Lee Clark, big band.
Okay.
It's probably like a 20 or 30 piece band. And one of my favorite keyboard players plays the bass and the organ, Darby Wolf, I think is his last name. So there's so many good players in town. And that band is like some of the all-stars all together in one project. Maybe they're my favorite. Yeah.
What, BTALC?
BTALC Big Band.
I did that right. Why don't you move that box off the table? It's because you are prettier than cardboard. That's P-Dubs right there.
Four-legged faithful. Regret and resolve.
So do you still feel like a kid because you just like played music throughout?
I think there is some sort of element of Peter Pan in there when you become a musician. Like some of the regular responsibilities of adult life don't quite affect you as much. But I'm not, definitely don't feel like a kid.
Okay.
I haven't for a long time.
On the not feeling like a kid topic, are you exercising? Are you taking care of your body?
I'm not.
Are you doing jumping jacks? Are you doing push-ups? Are you running?
There was a time.
Is walking considered exercise to you?
If shoveling snow is exercise, then I'm the champion. No, I have been a lazy fuck.
For how long have you been this?
At least like 2 or 3 months. Maybe
But prior to that, you were out there running?
Yes.
In
the beginning of COVID, I was doing a daily run, daily workout, whatever I could do, push-ups.
If your wife was here, would you be saying this?
Yeah, she knows. She hears me down with the Shanti downstairs. She's like, that's so stupid.
So running a mile, getting a mile in, 10 miles, 5 miles?
No, it started out as the mile. It started out as walking the mile in the beginning. But, I'm like a 2 to 3 mile person. I'm not a huge runner. And I just like to get enough to get my lungs working.
And since we're being so honest with each other,
but it's been a while.
And now that we're friends, today you expressed that walking out of the studio to a distance relatively nearby.
60 yards?
Yeah, it was 60 yards. And returning back, as you came in, you said, I'm breathing heavy from
I was.
whatever I just did.
I got to get it back. It's, that's
Let's get you to a point of where walking is not exercise.
Yeah, I got to get back going. That's part of it, right?
How do you eat? Good clean food, French fries, or are you like
I'm
kale?
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
I'll eat some McDonald's
food is made
fries.
at home?
Yeah, we usually cook and make our stuff at home, but simple stuff. Neither of us are fantastic chefs over there. Some basic meat and potatoes, people. Vegetables, broccoli, salads. Not too bad, but I'm addicted to potato chips, so it's always difficult.
We kind of touched on this before, so let's say that the music industry does not exist. There's no music. There's no production. You can't do anything.
No production.
Right? What would you? Yes, nothing that even no music. Music's not a thing. No one ever heard of it.
Okay.
Right? What would you do with your time?
I would probably go into movies.
Into movies?
Yeah, I would do something with film. I love film, and
acting.
No, more like
lighting.
Maybe even being the director or the screenwriter or.
Have you written any screenplays? Have you started?
I've written a few things. Nothing.
What a glow has come into your eye since he brought this up. It's like I can hardly look at him. It's like flashlights coming out of your eye. You love this. You have written a screenplay.
No. I haven't gotten there yet. I mean, I do like the idea of how film works and how involved it is because you got everything. You got the sound, you've got the look, you got the camera angles.
Yeah.
I love film and I love movies. So if there was no music, I would have to do something creative in that area or writing books,
I'm going to tell you something. today
Yeah.
as I look at you
Yeah.
across the table. Really, we met today. We discovered that we haven't crossed paths before. So you have to. I can see it in you. You're going to need this. Before you carry on, before you're gone, dead, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
you gotta write the screenplay.
I got to do the screenplay.
You do. I see it. It's burning in you. Yeah.
Well,
Am I off? Am
you
I
never
off?
know. No, I mean, it's a philosophical question, right? Because music's not in the picture. If
Right.
music was in the picture, I'd still be taking a turn to some sort
I
of...
think with music, you still have
Yeah,
a need to be writing something down.
But I want to be like one of those guys like Jean Favreau.
Nope. Don't know.
So he was an actor in a ton of stuff, right?
Okay.
Or Rob Reiner.
Okay.
He was an actor in a ton of stuff, and then all of a sudden he became the producer, executive, and was in charge of everything. And he did so he did The Mandalorian. I don't know if you know that. He did all of the Iron Man stuff. Anyway, that idea of turning a corner from person like musician to producing something different, where it's not necessarily about you but about other people.
Right.
That's the direction I'm headed.
As you just told me that, Paul, I learned something.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah, I did. This is what I learned. That if I ever have the opportunity to have somebody put into a movie or a sitcom or anything, I'm going to call you and be like, this guy wants it so bad. It's for you. Not that you want it so bad, it's that you would love it so much. And I like seeing people happy.
Yeah.
You know, these opportunities, they don't come to me often, but if it did, I'd be like, yo, P-Dubs, he's hanging, he's ready to be the next Jerry Seinfeld, or more of a Larry David.
I would be into making the music for those movies also, though. I mean,
making the music.
Yeah, I could see myself getting into orchestration and band and classical and just sort of expanding that way musically at some point when I'm older, you know. I think that's where it's going to go.
Do you do anything good for the world? Do you help anyone? Are you terrible?
I'm not terrible.
Well, in order to get in here, you need to tell us what you're doing that is good. And you really want to get in here, wherever here is. I don't know.
I did something good this weekend.
What was the good thing that you did?
I had a friend in need who was moving. And as always, he had called everybody and no one wanted to help him move.
Wait.
So you know how that is. You haven't moved in a long time, so it's hard. But like when you do move, it's this traumatic thing. You have to remove 6 billion things from one place.
Shelf. All of a sudden,
I went over to his house for the
table.
day and helped him move. That was one good thing I think I put out there.
So you did that.
I did that.
What time did you wake up and get it? What time were you there? What time were you carrying
It was
by?
a Sunday, so I did the Sunday brunch gig. I just drove over there for like 5 or 6 hours, driving couches back and forth from one place to another, and dressers and a bed.
Did you feel good about it when you got home? Did he appreciate it as much as you wanted him to?
He totally appreciated it.
That's good. Who's he? Who is he?
That's Patrick.
Pat
Rock.
Pat Rock. That's his nickname. Well, the reality, which is what's most valuable, I think, in most situations, is that we're here in this room today on offering something, me and you, Michael, Paul, because this is fun, because of 2 reasons mainly. This is 4, but I mean 2. Of 2 reasons. One, you're a success in your field. You've taken something that you love, which is playing the keys, playing the organ, and turned it into a career, a lifestyle, something that brings you joy. I love seeing that. I love people doing what they want to do, because a lot of people just don't consider it an option. It's a reality, and you're living proof of that. The other thing is because you're a good person. I feel that you're offering something to the world that is a positive benefit. You're a good man. You don't do bad things. You just told me a story about how you helped. I respect the individual that you are and the success you've had in your career. And if you're not comfortable with me telling you this, that's fine. Because as a grown man to another grown man, I'm cool to tell you this while you're living. It's not always going to be the best to hear how much people respected you or appreciated what you did after you're dead and gone. So I'm going to say it to your face while you can hear it. Good looks, bro. You got a good thing going on.
That was nice,
I respect
man. I
you.
appreciate that. That's good to hear. Makes you feel good about maybe you're doing something right somewhere. You know,
I see it from where I'm sitting. You know, I'm not
you
with
too,
you.
brother.
I'm
You
like,
got this offering something is a great thing, man. You got something burning here.
Give
in this
me
place.
compliments. I'll take them.
Hey, man, this is a real thing.
It's working.
You got it going. Automatic cameras.
Oh,
Before
man.
you know it, there'll be robots serving us joints.
Oh, golly, we don't need that. So, you like gifts?
I do.
You like games?
I love games.
Let's play a quick game. It's going to be quick. The game is called Fast, Fun, and Not So Smart. It's fast. It's happening fast. I'm throwing the questions
fun
at
and not too smart. Then.
Yeah, not so smart.
Not
all
so
right?
smart.
It's fun because it's fun, and not so smart because you're not going to think about
let's see if
the
I can
answer.
do it.
Just say the thing. It's just a game. Here we go now. This is Fast, Fun, and Not So Smart with Wolsty from Slightly Stoopid. Here we go. Best Slightly Stoopid album.
Best Slightly Stoopid album. Well, I think Everything You Need is probably the best.
Oh, yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you take care of your body?
About is one good or bad?
What is the worst?
Then I'm about a 4.
You have one meal left. What is it going to be?
Steak.
And does it need anything
baked
with
potato and broccoli. I gotta be quick. I'm not quick enough. Sorry.
If you need to eliminate one state, if you had to eliminate one state in the United States of America, what state would it be, Playboy?
I don't even understand.
What state
I
needs to go?
love them all so much. Oh my God, is there one I hate?
I
I don't. All right, so I'll tell you one that's north, whatever. What is it, Dakota? I don't even know it. I don't know what's there.
The first person to ever say this.
It wouldn't affect my gig life if that state was gone.
But $1 million cash right now before you walk out of this room, would you never again touch the keyboard?
Oh, no way. $1 million?
Yep.
No.
A good answer right there. Real love, real passion. I know $1 million's not much, but it's a lot.
I mean, what else would I do?
Go
Jesus
lay down.
Christ, I have to figure something out.
Lay down.
I have to go write my script or something.
Oh, it was fun. Yeah. You have a cat?
I do.
Yeah, what's the cat's name?
I have a crazy cat named Starburst. My daughter named her.
It's a good name.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But, she's a good cat, and she's a family cat, and she's fun. But, just like any cat, she'll wake you up at 4 a.m. meowing in your face.
What sense is she a family cat? She comes out to dinner with you? She's there on the
it's
holiday
really
parties?
She kind of is. It's kind of weird. Like
she's in all the pictures?
If we go into any room, she just appears and crawls up next to us.
You say the whole thing every time? Starburst, and you say
Starburst.
Every time?
Oh, yeah. She's, Starburst, get off there.
Oh,
stop waking me up. She's sweet, man. I love cats. Not everybody is a cat person. I know a lot of dog people out there who hate cats, but for me, they're cool. They do their thing. And I could go on tour and it's fine. Dog, not so much.
As we approach the end of this operation here, let's say, who do you want to give some love to? Any love? You love anybody out there?
I do, man. Big love to Slightly Stoopid and all the people involved and all of that whole crew. You know who I do love?
Who do you love?
Slightly Stoopid crew. They're
Slightly
awesome.
Stupid crew.
They're so good, man.
I
love them.
Is there a thing called the Stupid Heads? Is that something I made up? Is that the name of the group?
No, that's a real thing. That's like the Deadheads. Yeah. That's like the... Yeah, that's like the bunch of super fans who know all the albums.
So we're giving love to
the Stupid Heads too.
Yeah.
The fans of music, man. You got to give the fans of music love.
What? Who else? Who else you give love to? Your wife?
Got to give my wife and kid the love.
Golly.
They're number one. And then right after that, not far from that, it comes the rest of my family. I got the brother and sister, father and mother, and
you like all of them?
Oh yeah.
Do you like them all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I don't always get along with everybody, but I do like them all.
But you go to the family parties. You're present.
Do. We have all sorts of stepsisters and half brothers.
Talk to each other.
Love it. Now we're not always all talking to each other, but whenever I'm there with whoever's there. I just love getting to know their kids and that whole thing, I love family.
How do people connect with you on social media, jams? What's your situation on IG?
Well, Instagram, I'm pdubs13 with a Z. pdubs13, and on Facebook, I'm just Paul Wolstencroft. P. Wolstencroft on Twitter. And TikTok on P-Dubs13 also.
P-Dubs. I know most of y'all are hip on that IG. P-Dubs with a Z. 13. Get in with it. Yeah. I feel good. You feel good?
Yeah, man. I feel totally good.
That was fun.
Well, it's nice drinking this Enjoy Your Life beer.
Oh,
no doubt about it, right? Cheers.
You gotta get it on. How do you feel about the Riverwalk beer?
I've had 2 so far, and they're both really good. Both really good. What did I have? The Riverwalk IPA?
IPA.
That was nice.
Yes.
And this Enjoy Your Life is no slouch. The Michael special.
It's the jam.
The #1 jam.
Yeah. Watch out for our new single dropping never. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. I think it's time to sign off.
Okay.
Feel safe about it?
Okay, yeah. Sad, but, you know.
Well, I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out of your house. I know it takes it is effort that I recognize. Putting your physical body, steps, whatever, put your clothes on, thoughts, get into the car, get over here. I see all that. I respect you doing it.
Well, I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on. Yeah. It was a blast being here.
Yeah. Let's keep it blasted.
Let's blast it off into the moon.
Oh, boy.
This is the part where you have to pay attention.
Yeah. Peace.